I'd like to ask my friend Adam Vaughan, who I often use as an example of the best councillor in the city of Toronto.
It's been a lonely few years at City Council when you look across the floor and see who was sent from this neighborhood to City Council in the last election. And I can tell you that I don't come up and nominate and help and promote candidates very easily and very often. It's not something I've done before. I have a campaign to fight in my own ward. But I met Mohamed a few years ago. We had a challenge. We had a housing provider that was walking away from adults with disabilities in a housing project in my ward. Almost 24 people who had lived in a project for more than 20 years were suddenly going to be institutionalized, taken away from their jobs, taken away from their neighbors, taken away from their community. And the challenge we had was to find a housing provider on short notice. I called George Smitherman's office and said, George, I need some help. Hey. George's office and George said, talk to Mohamed, he'll help you. One meeting. One meeting. I don't think I solved any problems in 4 years at City Hall with one meeting. We sat down with the tenant representatives, we sat down with the LIN, we sat down with Mohamed. By the end of the week, not only did they get their housing back, not only did a housing provider return to provide services in my ward, but a couple of dozen adults with disabilities no longer had fear in their hearts, they had hope in their future. If you can do it, if you can do it without the power of City Hall behind him, if you can do it without elected office behind him, if you can do it just because the goodness is in his heart, imagine what happens when you deliver this seat to him and we send him to City Hall. He'll do it for you. It is about change. It's about this change. Get out on Monday night, get 10 of your friends, get 10 of their friends, and get 10 more of their friends and a couple of aunts and uncles and get them all to the polls. Because when you send Mohamed to City Hall, Toronto will take a step forward. They'll take a step forward. There's no one. You can't do it alone at City Hall. You need a mayor's office that cares too. You need a mayor's office that cares about public housing as much as it cares about creating private wealth through the development process. You need a mayor's office that understands it's not about cutting budgets, it's about building a city. You need a mayor's office that's going to be led by somebody who delivered Regent Park to a neighborhood that needed change. A mayor's office that knows that this city is better when there's more of us. Not fewer of us. When there's more resources in our neighborhoods, not fewer resources in our neighborhoods. And when more of the voices of this community are heard down at City Hall, we will know that not only do we have a great councillor, we've got a great mayor, we've got a great City Hall, and that's the way to get change.